the MLB, the NBA, the NFL, the NHL, all major sports leagues in the United States are being put on hold. Everything has been stopped because of COVID-19, better known as the coronavirus, putting halt to all sports and a lot of major gatherings. Anything above, as of today, 50 people in the United States is, for the next 2 months from the date of this taping, is not recommended to be had by the CDC. I'm Tom Kenny, here for the Sports Hit List with John Doyle.
Howdy, hey.
Shawn Kiernan.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Thanks for being here. And rocking the beautiful denim button-up, Carl Coulange.
Tom, thanks for having me, man.
Thanks for being here today. So we're here today to discuss the impact that COVID-19 has had on sports and just society in general. Carl, if you want to lead us off with some of your thoughts.
Well, shock, honestly. It's just really been when the NBA decided, I believe it was a Tuesday night, that they decided that they were going to cancel the Oklahoma City-Utah Jazz game. You know, you're in the thread. Shout out to the whole group, Sports Hit List group, where we have our daily dialogue about sports. And Andres and some people were talking about it. Like, there were rumors that they were going to cancel the game, and there were rumors that Rudy Gobert had contracted the coronavirus. But it wasn't really definite because everyone gets their sources. So when it finally came out that, the game was canceled, maybe within the next half hour or so, they said that the league is suspended. And I'm just like, I'm literally eating dinner with my wife. We're all just, and then I look at my phone, I'm just like, holy, I'm like, what? And then she goes, what happened? And I go, they just canceled the NBA. And she rolls her eyes, she's like, oh, Lord. And then so I just start calling people and just like trying to talk to people because we're so shocked. Then that led to the domino effect. The NBA was first. Then the following day, we saw all the other leagues. And even the NCAA, they were going to play in empty arenas. But then once you saw the NBA cancel, you saw all these leagues to do the right thing, you started seeing everybody else follow suit. So it's really, I don't want to say it's not a tragic time, but it's really something that we as sports fans have never seen or experienced, and even for the athletes themselves. So it's just unfortunate.
Shawn?
Yeah, like Carl said, I'm absolutely shocked about this whole entire thing. It's like, NBA obviously came out first with them suspending their league. And I remember I told my mom right away, oh, Mom, this is it for me for a while because sports is my life. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, okay, basketball is suspended for a while. That means that all the other leagues are going to follow. So that's, what happened with hockey. March Madness got canceled. Baseball suspended until further notice. Who knows when opening day is going to start. It's just totally unfortunate. And we had 3 NBA players so far test positive for the virus. And it's just, the whole thing is just sad.
Shawn?
Well, I'm not going to lie. When Rudy Gobert got it, and this may sound like I'm an ignorant sports fan, but that's when it became real for me. That's when I was like, oh my God, anybody could get this. You know what I mean? This may sound like, again, stupid of me, but if a famous person, if an athlete of that caliber who keeps himself in tip-top shape can get this, that means anybody can get this. Anybody can walk around with this. But I'm kind of a guy who sees it kind of half full, and this is the take I'm looking at. And Matt Barnes tweeted about this.
I know where you're going. Yeah.
I think this is going to be one of the greatest sports summers we're going to ever witness. We have the NHL coming back, which is going to be rare form for playoffs. We have the NBA season coming back with everyone getting a nice rest. We have everyone coming back with full health. Even the Yankees, look at that. Aaron Judge, now he has more time to heal up. Michael Conforto for the Mets, more time to heal up. So, yes, this is a very scary situation. This should not be taken lightly. It kind of reminds me of the Ebola outbreak, but a lot more serious because it's actually spreading throughout America rapidly. But it's crazy, man. When sports got canceled, that's when it was real.
So Tom, we didn't ask you. Tom, what did you think?
Well, I mean, for me, it was so crazy to see because we've seen these leagues get closed for maybe labor disputes or pay disputes. The MLB in 1994. The NBA a little bit more recently. What was that?
2000, I believe, 11.
11, yeah.
11, and they also had one in 99 too.
Yes.
Yeah.
So now it's happening because on a scale with all sports at the same time, and with things like concerts and different venues, it's a crazy time to be alive. Weird. It's a crazy thing to go through, and I think none of us will ever forget this. It'll be like, where were you when the NBA shut down? Because you're always going to remember where you were. That was the day sports stood still. So now that sports are standing still, Carl, what are some of your ideas? What can the NBA, the NHL, the MLB do now? They're going to have these abbreviated seasons. Do they continue the season later into the year? If you're the MLB, you're going to start late in March. Now, if you don't get started until May, do you have an abbreviated regular season? Do playoffs as regular? Do you push it back? What do you do for the NBA? Do you just start the playoffs as soon as you come back?
Well, you see, I've been having this discussion with everyone in terms of what do? You just have to start the playoffs now. How is that fair to the teams that were contending for an 8th seed? So, there were some few teams that were possibly in the playoff race. I believe Portland's in the playoff race. You have the bottom feeders. My thought is those teams, you play an elimination game because they're in the playoff race, a one and done, and then that winner gets the 8th seed. It's unfortunate for the 9th, depending on, I haven't looked at the seeding since it happened, so how far apart the games are. That's where you could be in the interest of fairness. And then you just start, I believe you should just start the playoffs. Again, whoever was contending for a spot, because number one, we don't know when this is, and the CDC is anticipating. So they're saying 8 more weeks of banning, 50 or more arena events. You don't know exactly when the league can start again. So say they decide it's June or July. What's the point of finishing playing out the rest of the month and a half season that was left? So start the playoffs, get the playoffs over by the summertime, and then going into next season, you can basically start the season a little bit later on, because clearly you're not going to start the season right away after just ending it in the playoffs. So you think of possibly a Christmas start. MLB, I say just start whenever they start and just cancel the whatever games they had up until, say, April, May, and June games get canceled. A lot less games instead of playing a 162-game season for those players. Same thing for the NHL, and then all the other single game golf, they can postpone and they can reschedule. But as far as the NBA and the NHL, just start with the playoffs. And if it is an issue, which I hate using if, right?
Yeah,
if it is an issue, then you would just pick it back up, I guess, do the one-game elimination for the 8th seeded players teams, and then you start the playoffs.
All right. Well, if's terrible. I mean, terrible with the ifs. But if they come back, Shawn, and if what Carl says happens, you're starting the playoffs. NBA says when they come back, they're going to have no audiences. They're going to play in front of crowdless stadiums. How do you think that's going to affect the playoffs and the much valued home court advantage with the NBA? Is that something where you could see it being totally different than ever before?
Oh, for sure it's going to be totally different because, especially like you said, even if you're the home team in the playoffs without any fans, you're not even going to feel like you're the home team.
Yeah,
you're used to the crowd noise. Everyone harping at you, chant defense. You're
Exactly. You feed off the
that.
energy, yeah.
And it's it really hurts. But I'm really interested with baseball now. What happens if they push it back to mid to late May, early June? If this, the regular season, the playoffs goes around to, I'll say November, December, the World Series can't be played, let's just at Yankee Stadium. They can't do it. They're going to have to move it down to Miami or somewhere like that.
Yeah,
Wow,
wow.
it's going to be interesting to see what happens.
Well, that's a great point. That's why I said they should just cancel the rest of the season and still continue, because you can't play baseball in the wintertime. If they're going to try to play the games at 162, you're not going to be able to catch yourself up in time to play. The most you could push is, I remember during 9/11, we played the World Series in November. And that's where Jeter was coined Mr. November, right? But that's it. You can't push it further than that because you're not going to be playing a baseball game in a snowstorm.
Yeah,
seriously.
Possibly, So I think they should just shorten the season and just continue on.
John, we've talked a little bit about all those things.
Yeah.
What are some of your viewpoints on this in terms of when they start, how they do things?
I think it's a very difficult situation because, like you said, we've never had something like this happen before, ever in the history. So the thing to really consider is these TV deals. We just saw that new deal go through with the CDC and the NFL, not the CD, but the NFL. And we see that had to do with the broadcasting. So it's going to be weird how all these major broadcasting networks work up, because you're going to have 3 sports that are going to link up all at the same time. And some of them may have cut out deals with certain sports, and some of them, it's going to be a really weird situation, man, television-wise and all.
Yeah.
But I'm still excited to see it, because like I said, there's going to be a lot of rest and there's going to be a lot of greatness. LeBron James wins it again. Whoop, whoop.
Well,
Let's not get started.
Yeah, we're not going to get started on that because we all
Tom,
know
how would
the
you book-
Celtics are winning this season.
Tom, how would you book it?
I liked what you said, Carl. I think you take the break, you come back right in the NBA, you go right into the playoffs, you shorten the MLB season, you have the playoffs for them start whenever it would. That'll be interesting for the MLB because you'll have all these rested, healthy pitchers that can go long innings, that you don't have to worry about innings limits, stuff
More
like that.
time to cheat.
It could be really, it could be a really interesting season. But if you're worried about coronavirus and how it can affect you, the Sports Hit List has you covered. here are some tips from our very own Nurse Jean on things you could do to avoid contracting or getting this terrible virus.
As a medical professional, what can you tell us about the coronavirus and what you know about it so far?
So right now, no, the coronavirus is a respiratory virus. It's contact and a droplet precaution. So that means pretty much you can get it by touching surfaces that have been in contact with the coronavirus, or the droplets that come from your nose when you sneeze or when you cough. And that's how it's transmitted. It's not airborne, like many people assume.
Have you treated anyone with the virus, and so far, what are the symptoms that they've experienced?
I haven't treated anyone with the virus personally, but I am versed with the symptoms. So far, the symptoms are shortness of breath, cough, and fever. You should really get checked out if you have those 3 symptoms.
What do people need to do to stay safe? Should they stay quarantined, or should they go about their regular daily life?
I think for right now, the best bet would be to wash your hands first, 20 seconds minimum. But at the same time, I don't necessarily think an entire quarantine is necessary. I think it could be helpful to stay inside and not gather in large spaces, but you don't necessarily have to stay shelled in for the next month to 6 months.
All events in New York have been canceled or postponed. Any time frame into when we can resume regular activity? For us as sports fans, it's kind of like no sports are on TV. So when do you think we can expect to try to get back at least to normal?
I think that with sports, it's kind of hard because a lot of people will gather in those areas, and you don't want to expose that many people to a virus that's so easily spread. So I'd say earliest 2 weeks to a month. But honestly, this can go on for at least 2 to 3 more months just to be sure. And honestly, this is the best bet.
Besides washing our hands, are wearing masks and gloves the best way to go? Like I see a lot of people around wearing masks and gloves. Is that wise? Is that crazy?
I think people are panicking and using masks and gloves, and they don't necessarily need that. If you're sick, you should probably be wearing a mask and gloves so you don't, infect other people. But half the time, people that are putting these masks and gloves on aren't even disposing of them properly, and they're not even putting them on. I personally bought 2 masks, the mask that most people have, which are the surgical masks, and the N95 that a lot of people are getting confused and they assume that they need. This mask is tested and fit tested, I should say, by healthcare professionals to actually, keep particles from coming in. So if you go and run and get something like this, it's worthless. You probably aren't even wearing the right size. So best bet, wash your hands. Sanitize is good if you don't have soap and water, but washing your hands is the best bet.
Is the media overhyping this? And we've seen a lot of closures, like I said before, sports events closing down, schools are closing down.
I think
a lot of people are switching over, but is this really as serious as they're saying it is? And that goes back to even our government too.
I think the media is a little much on reporting about this. When you see other viruses that come about, Ebola, AIDS, for instance, a lot of people aren't even talking about that as much as they are with this coronavirus. This is something that is a little too much in the news, I think, and people really need to follow the guidelines by the CDC and the WHO and go from there. I really think too much exposure is causing hysteria.
How can you compare this to a common flu? Can this be compared to a common flu, or is it more than a common flu?
So I think it can be compared because they have similar symptoms, but at the same time, no, because I feel like the transmission is on this virus particularly is a little more contagious. It seems like people are catching it at higher rates and it's spreading very fast. The flu spreads very fast as well, but they're very similar. But again, Corona is what's in the news right now, so.
And we're back. Hopefully you were able to get some good pointers. I thought she was great.
Yeah, man.
Special shout out to her. I actually went to elementary school with her. And when I was thinking of when we were designing, my wife suggested, who's a part-time producer, she's like, you should get a professional to come give her an opinion about it. So I'm like, who do I know? I'm like, oh yeah, Jean. So I called her up. And so thank you. Special thank you to her for doing it.
All right. Special thank you to her. Final thoughts on COVID in sports. We're going to start with you, Mr. John Doyle. How has it affected your life? Just some final thoughts on it. What, your daily
His life is terrible, right, John?
Oh my God. Well, my life
Jets
is
and Mets to-
my life is terrible because I root for terrible teams, but that's neither here nor there.
He's happy.
Yeah, I don't really. I don't have to watch the Knicks right now, so it's all right. I don't have to put myself through it. But the crazy thing about it is, what I actually would like to do for the NBA is I'd like to have all like the bottom dwelling teams right now that aren't in the 1 through 8 rankings Western Conference. I'd like to have them play a little like tournament, you know what I mean? Like right as the coronavirus is starting to settle down, right as we're starting to get back into the swing of things again, I'd like to see them battle it out. And I think we should add one more playoff spot to this NBA season, to every shortened season. How is it fair? How can you cut a season short and then if you're a bottom dwelling or a 9th seed team this close to making it just because the coronavirus, I mean, the coronavirus is a deadly thing, but it ruins your season, man. That's terrible. That's annoying.
Just so his Knicks can get an opportunity to make the playoffs.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
why
No, I just want to see Knicks ball
We're giving
again.
all 16 seed teams a playoff spot.
No, that's not what I'm saying. You add the spot on it. You make it
yeah.
like a March Madness type of thing. You have a bracketology. It's best to 1. You don't give it best to 2. It's winner take all. One game to win it all. That's how I think it should be.
On the bright side, though, you never would have gotten to watch There Will Be Blood and know what I drink your milkshake.
I'll drink all milkshakes, sir.
Shawn, how has it affected you? Obviously, you said you're huge into sports. You were talking to your mom about it. What are some
Yeah.
like personal implications for you here?
Well, personally, right now, it's really tough right now for me because I'm always sharing it on social media, everything like that, expecting a game, excited for a game, you know, like that. But I don't know. Hopefully, it comes back soon, you know. And like something with March Madness, I just didn't understand why they cut it off so fast. I felt like if they extended it more, could have like a 16-team like little tournament. I felt.
Hey, maybe
So
the
they
Knicks could have
cut-
played in that
yeah.
tournament. They would have had a
Maybe,
chance.
yeah, maybe. Maybe.
All right, Shawn. Well, we're looking forward to getting you back behind the booth on the Sharks games and
Thank you.
getting back into general and saving the best for last. Last but not
Thank
least,
you.
the
Thank you.
chosen
At least in
one,
this debate, you saved
the
me for
avid
last.
Triple H fan, as we found out earlier, Carl Coulange. Carl,
Yeah.
what do you have to say?
I think it's really sad for the seniors of the NCAA. Like, I'm hurting for them because not being able to play, or even the juniors who were making early decisions to play in that tournament, maybe they were going to jump ship even after they're one and dones. But now, you don't get that opportunity. It's gone, and it's to no one's fault because of the coronavirus. So I think for them, everyone is feeling for the players. And the other part of it is just watching now. It's WWE. What are they going to do? You know, in terms of WrestleMania, are they going to host it? It's that part is kind of like, all right, you're taking away my sports. Now, for me personally, it's like, wait, no WrestleMania 2? It's like, what do you do? You know, and again, I don't mean to sound selfish in this time, but we love our sports. You know, this is why we're here. This is why the show is even here, is because of this. So I think it's looking back and saying, Vince, are you going to pull the plug or not? You know, so don't do it.
Don't do it, Vince.
I feel like it's so weird. Like you can't have wrestling in front of an empty crowd, though.
You can. Vince,
you can play any
Vince
sport
did
in
it.
front of an empty crowd.
And
wrestling
speaking of
you
that,
feed off
listen,
the energy,
I have a
man.
special thing to show you because of that. We don't deal with it. We deal with facts, right?
We do deal with facts. And the fact is
just
that
so
wrestling
people-
is a sport.
Yes, and also the fact is that Vince never cancels his shows. And we saw Owen Hart pass away in the ring, and the show went on. So those are the facts. We know what Vince is about. Vince is not going to cancel it. It'd have to take something completely catastrophic for Vince to cancel the
Like
show.
the coronavirus?
Like the coronavirus, but we have wait to see. So
All right. Well,
The Dicks.
just some thoughts from me. Obviously, we love talking sports. We live for sports. It's been rough not having it, but it does give you some time to kind of reflect on how lucky we are to have sports and as a nation be afforded the ability to watch these pastimes and enjoy them as a community, which is what we are. So from our community to yours, everyone stay safe with the coronavirus. And,
before we go, I just want to throw a quick shout out
Before
to
we go.
the makers of the show.
Yes.
The shirt, Major Design Studios. Please check them out if you guys need any of your likings or you need anything made. Their information is going to be flashed across the screen below me, so you could basically, all your needs for shirts, for t-shirts, for anything custom made, cups, Major Design Studios.
I
Special
got to
shout
get
out
them to
my
make my
friends.
Carl Coulange and a Triple H shirt.
Oh, no, please, no.
No,
They won't do
yeah.
that for you,
I
trust me.
think
I'll
they
tell
will
them,
do it.
I'll make
I
sure it
think
gets
they
lost in the
will
mail.
do it.
I'll make sure it gets lost in the mail.
Everyone has a price for the $1 Million Man. For Carl Coulange, Shawn Kiernan, and John Doyle, I'm Tom Kenny. Follow the Sports Hit List on all the social medias, our Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook. Until then, stay safe. Thanks for watching.